Hey guys, welcome to the Sales Pride Ultimate Objection Handling Framework. We're going to start off here with a quote from Tony Robbins, what he attributes to his success. He calls it the ultimate success formula. If you do these 4 things, then you're guaranteed to have success. Number 1 is you have to get clear on what it is you want. You can't just say, last year I made $100,000, this year I want to make more money. $100,000 last year wasn't enough, I want to make more. You have to be clear on how much more, because if you made $101, congratulations. The universe just gave you more money and it says go away. If it says, I want to lose weight, well, congratulations, you lost a pound. There you go. Be happy. So you have to get clear on what it is you want. Instead of saying, I want to make more money, you want to say, I want to make $200,000 this year. If you understand the SMART framework, specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timeline or time frame. How much specifically do you want to make? How much specifically do you want to lose? Is it just about losing weight, or is it about losing body fat? What is it specifically that you want to learn? Number 2, it's measurable. Tony says, what's not measured can't be tracked, and what's tracked can't be improved upon. If you can measure weight, you can measure dollars, right? You can measure those things. All of those things, think about the SMART goals, getting specific on what it is you want. And then it's not just good enough to know what it is you want. You have to know why. So a little exercise I learned is where you ask the question, for what? And then you go 7 levels deep. Let's say I want to make $150,000 or $200,000 this year. For what? So that I can pay down my tax bill or my child support bill or credit cards or car payments or whatever. Okay. For what? So I can get my passports reinstated. Okay. For what? So that I can travel the world and, rejoin the Tony Robbins Platinum Partnership Program and be able to attend all these events. For what? So I can have these life experiences. For what? So I can be happy and be more enjoyable. And when you ask these questions and you go 7 levels deep, ultimately you get to the root of the matter and you figure out what it is, that emotional juice to feel happy, to feel successful, to feel whatever it is, becomes a bigger leverage. If your lever is only this big on a wrench versus this big, you'll be able to turn with a lot more force. So that will help you with the ultimate success formula, which is step number 2, is taking massive action. If you're taking massive action towards a specific goal and you don't really know your why, when you become tired or when the inspiration leaves you a week or 2 later, then you'll just give up. Look, you know what massive action is. You have to ask yourself. If you can ask yourself at the end of the day, did I take massive action? Did I give it all I had? Did I apply myself as fully as I could have? If you did, congratulations. Now you just have to do massive action for as long as you possibly can. Because if you take massive action, eventually you will get there. But then there's step number 3. You have to have what's called sensory acuity. Tony uses the example of trying to find a sunset. Like, I want to see a sunset. If you say, you know what, I'm really clear on I want to see a sunset and I'm gonna make a plan. My massive action plan is just to run as hard as I can. And I don't know what direction I'm going to go. I'm just going to run. I don't care. And you end up running east. Man, I'm running east. Man, I see this cool sunrise. That's cool. And then the sun's setting behind you, but you're not paying attention. That's what sensory acuity is paying attention. Am I getting closer to my goal or farther away from my goal? As you're measuring, what's not measured can't be tracked. What can't be tracked can't be improved upon. Last year, my goal was to make $300,000. So I'm going to divide that by 12. And by the end of, that's $25,000 a month. And my goal was to, make $300,000, right? In 6 months, at the end of June, I was supposed to be at 150. By the end of July, I was at $200,000. So if I was at the end of June at only 150, if I'm at less than $150,000, then something's wrong. I'm not close to my goal. Or if I'm at 150,000 or I'm at 160,000, let's say I was at 160,000 by the end of June last year, then I have to recalibrate my goals, which is step number 4, which is adjusting the action. If your goal is to make $200,000, by the end of June, you're supposed to be at $100,000. If you are at $60,000, for example, you have to ask yourself, okay, for the last 6 months, have I been taking massive action? And if you say, well, I've been doing pretty good, I've been working, making sure I'm putting in at least 8 hours a day. If you're short of your goal, then that's not enough massive action. You need to take more massive action. So instead of working 8 hours a day, you're going to say, I'm going to put in 12 hours a day. That's what sensory acuity and adjusting the action is all about. The mistake that a lot of people make when they're trying to set their goals is they adjust the goal. If your goal was to make $200,000 this year, and by the end of June, you're at $60,000, well, then some people would say, okay, well, I made $100,000 last year. If I made 120, that wouldn't be bad. I don't want to disappoint myself. I don't want to set my sights too high and settle. Maybe I'll just set it for 150 or 120 or 130. That's still a 20% increase over last year. And then they lie to themselves and they delude themselves. What you want to do is you want to adjust the action that you need to take. Hey, I'm behind the pace. What do I need to do in order to get this goal? Maybe you can't work 12 hours a day. Maybe that will lead to burnout. I'm already putting in maximum amount of time I can do. I'm exhausted at the end of my day. I can't work harder. Maybe I need to work smarter. Maybe there's something missing. I told you there's 4 steps in this. There's actually a 5th hidden step. And the 5th hidden step is modeling. There's basically 3 pillars of mastery, and we'll go over that in the next section. But the first pillar is modeling. Find somebody who has had outstanding results and model what they did. If you start following the top guy in your office, let's say, maybe you're cheap, maybe you don't invest in coaching, and then maybe you want to go ahead and do it the free way or the slow way. We'll talk about this here in a little bit. But basically what happens here is you find that top rep in your office, you go form a friendship with him, you do everything that he does, and hopefully you'll get the same results he does. You find a recipe that works, you follow that recipe, you'll get the same great results. The 4-step ultimate success formula, according to Tony Robbins. Number 1, get clear on what it is you want. Number 2, take massive action. Number 3, have sensory acuity to pay attention if you're getting closer to or farther away from your goal. Number 4 is adjust the action, not the goal. And then the 5th hidden step is modeling or mentoring.